Hello everyone. This tutorial is going to go through the last part I want to go over on the eye, which is make the eyelid follow when I drag my eyeball. To do so, first I need a couple of blend shapes to do that. Let's go to sculpting and shape editor here, and I need some new target. The first one will be left eye up. Okay. Now for the left eye up, we're gonna drag the eyeball, drag the controller up, and then let's go tweak it. When you look up, your upper eyelid will be pushed upwards, and because the eyeball is a curve, so it also needs to go in like that. Okay, so let's drag those up and also in. Maybe not that much. Okay, now you don't have to do too much here, but I guess make it more smooth when you drag it up. Keep it smooth like that is quite important because you want the shape to look nice, and for a cartoony character like this, we don't really need that much of a variation happening over there, but we need something looks nice and smooth. Okay, so I think that I've dragged this too much, so let me drag this one down a little bit. Okay, that's the upper eyelid. The lower eyelid also needs to go up. Again, try to make the curve of the eyelid look smooth. Use bigger soft selection if possible. It's always helping a lot. Okay, so that's the eye going up. Okay, now we need to set driving key to trigger it when we look up. The easiest way is using the joint we have. So let's go there and grab it. The one will be the eye joint. This one, left eye joint, will be the one we use to drive the blend shape here. So let's go there and find the set driving key, load the driver here, and let's see which attribute we need to use. The easiest way to know that is looking at the channel box, and you see now the rotation X is the one that has changed when we drag the controller up. So rotation X will be the driver. The driven one will be our blend shape. The easiest way to select it is go to the shape editor and right click on the facial expressions and select load driven. Now the one here will be driven is left eye up. Okay, let's just key it, and then let's drag the controller down, and then also select the blend shape and zero out the left eye up. Let's key it again. That way when we drag the eyeball up, making the character looking up, you see now the blend shape is also being triggered like that. Okay, so that's pretty much everything we will do for other directions. So let's do the eyeball going down. I need a new blend shape. This new target will be called left eye down. Okay, for the left eye down, let's also go grab the top eyelid first and drag it down. again, try to make the curve of the eyelid looks nice and smooth. I know that sometimes when you're doing the realistic ones, it may need you to have some specific shape. So when you're doing something more realistic, it's better to find a reference here to really look at a actual footage or a picture and to see what exactly it looks like in reality. But in our case, we're doing a cartoony character, so it's better to just try to make things nice and smooth. It really doesn't help you to, you know, try to make a realistic kind of variation there. In my experience, it's gonna be looks really weird because, you know, our eye is too big proportion wise compared to realistic ones, and also we don't have that much structure there anyways. So let's just keep things nice and smooth. That's why I'm dragging some of the vertex back. Okay. Okay. When you look down, also the lower eyelid will be pushed down to. Let's go to vertex mode and grab those vertex. Okay, and then drag them down. It's better to be able to see the texture there. I'm not setting the project, that's why I cannot see them. Let me go there and at least grab the texture of the eyelid. Let me set the project here. So it's gonna be underneath my hard drive here. Rigging project. Oops. Okay, at least I can see those. Anyways, let me keep doing that. It's lagging for some reason. No idea why it's keep lagging like that. Okay, I think it's working now. So let me drag this down. Something is not right. Okay. To make the bottom line here, this curve looks nice and smooth. One thing you can always try is make those vertex go down on the outside. Make those go down. So now you have this inside face of the eyelid, those ones facing different directions, facing out essentially. Not a very big deal though. Okay, so that's the eyelid going, the eyeball going down. We need the same side driving keys. The axis will be X. The attribute we're going to drive will be the left eye down. You need to right click on the facial expression and select it again and reload the driven one, because that's the only way you can refresh the list. Now we have the left eye down, and then let's key it and then go back to the controller and zero it out, and then we can then also zero out the blend shape. Okay, again. Now if we drag the controller down, we have that movement. So now the eye looks more like following the eyeball. More like real human. What happens on real human eye. I think I don't quite like what's happening here. Okay, let me go there and change it. I'm still in the edit mode, so I can change it after set the driving key here. They're not connected, so there's actually nothing different. I can always go back and then change the shape. I'm going to make it very even and maybe more smooth and flat. This is more like a test of your modeling skill, in other words. Okay, drag those two forward slightly. Okay. Alright, let's do the other two. So the other two will be the looking in and looking out. So let's do the looking in. I need a new target. This one will be called left eye in. And then for that, I need to go and drag the vertex here and drag it in. Okay, when you're dragging it in, you also want to push it inwards too, like that. And because of the stretching happening over there, so the other part, those need to actually go down and then becomes more flattened or more like straight because of the dragging happening over there. So let me also push this one that way and maybe that one down. The same thing happens on the bottom, so I'm gonna drag it to inward and also push it into. You don't want to mess up with the corner too much. Okay. Oh, like that. Let's see how that looks like. So let's go to the set driving key again. Now this time the driver attributes, let's see, we can select the eyeball joint, and you see now the rotation Y is the one that has changed. So rotation Y will be the driver attribute. The driven attribute will be the new blend shape we created. To refresh that, I need to select the blend shape again and load driven. Now that's the eye in. Let's key it and then drag the controller back to 0 and then also 0 out the blend shape. You can do that here too. Key it. If you drag, it feels like the eyeball is pushing the skin inwards. But to achieve that, you have to make sure that you have two variations. One is that the highest point of the eye goes the same way where the eyeball goes, and also you have those lines becoming straight to mimic that stretching effect. Alright, let's do the last one there, which is looking out. It's the same concept. I need a new target. This one will be called left eye out. Okay. For that one, I'm going to drag the vertex towards the outside, so I'm gonna slide them this way. Probably a bigger fall off. Drag them in. Probably rotate that way. Also make those lines lower and more straight. Probably too much. Okay. Let's do the same thing on the bottom. So drag them out and in and rotate a little bit because of the stretching. So here I also want to make them like all straight too. Okay, so that's that. And then let's do the, I don't really like this part, it's going down too much. I'm gonna drag it up. Okay, now we're using the same rotation axis to drive. The driven one will be the new attribute we have. So I need to reselect our blend shape and load it. Now we have the eye out, key it. Move the slider, or sorry, the controller back to 0, and then also drag the blend shape back to 0 and key it again. Now we have all the movement we need. Just making sure they're all like working together properly. You may need to tweak something. Sometimes it's not going to be perfect at the beginning, maybe, so make sure that they looks nice like this. Alright, so now I want to have a control of how much the eyelid follow will be, because sometimes the animator just want it to be not falling that much. This is for more realistic kind of facial expression, but for cartoony ones, maybe that's too much. So let's have a controller attribute to control that effect. So let's go to edit and add a new attribute. This one will be called eyelid follow. Okay, minimum will be 0, maximum will be 1. Add. Let's go to window and then node editor. Let's clean things up and adding in our controller. Oh, I also need to add in the joint here. Let's select our eye joint and then see the input and output connections. Not sure why they're all over here. Let's organize by press that button. It's not really doing anything. I wonder why. So let's, I think it's pinned. Okay, let's uncheck the pin out node by default. For some reason mine is on. Okay, let's let's get them out. Can't. Let's reopen the node editor. Still not doing that. See what is pinning it. Maybe I pinned them all together. I need to unpin them, or let's just create a new one. Sorry about that. Let's go to the left eye joint and see the input and output connection. Okay, pin out node by default should be turned off. Okay, it's turned off now. Okay, now we can see the structure here. We use the set-driven key. Those are the set-driven key construction. Don't really need to see those, so let's grab all those things and then get them off. Now I just need to have one extra multiply divide before I give those blend shapes the value here. So let me create a new multiply divide. And this one will be renamed left eye follow. Open it. This one will actually be renamed 01. Follow 01, duplicate it, so I have follow 02. For follow 01, I just need to connect the output into the input, the output of those set-driven keys, okay, into the input. Because I have 4 set-driven keys, that's why I need at least 2 to do that. Okay. The output will then go to the controllers, the blend shapes. Let's see, this one is the eye down, so it's gonna go control the eye down. This one is the eye in, so output Y will be going to the eye in. This one is the eye up, which is input 1Z, so output Z will go to the eye up. Last one here is eye out, so this output X goes to the eye out. Okay, now we multiply their values and then stream the results to the blend shapes. Now the input 2 of the multiply divide will be the new attribute we add on the controller. So let's go grab it and add it in. Okay, now that one, I just need to drag the eyelid follow to all the input 2s. Come on. Okay. That way I have the eyelid follow controls, do I need those blend shape or not. If the eyelid follow is 1, then the blend shape will be there. If I don't have that, there will be all 0 because we're multiplying those values to 0. Okay, or if you can have something in the middle too if you want it. Like that. Alright, now let's work on the collision here on the eyeball. For the collision, first I need a wire. The easiest way, or actually the better way, the best way we can do is convert the edge loop into a curve. To do so, just go to multiply, convert polygon edges to curve. Okay. And then delete the history of this curve by press Alt Shift D all together, and then let's name this one left eye wire. Okay, now let's go to deformer here, select the model and press enter, select the curve and press enter again. That will create a wire deformer for us. Now if I drag or change the shape of the wire, you can see now it's changing the shape of the eyelid. Okay, now to make the eyelid to be able to collide with the eyeball, I just need something to collide with the wire we have here, because now it's controlling the eyelid. To do so, I can use a sculpt deformer. That will create 2 things, a ball here, a sphere ball here, and a locator. Let's rename this sphere ball sculptor left eye, and then the locator will be renamed sculptor left eye stretch origin. The locator then will have to be moved to the middle of the eyeball, so let's hold it down V button and drag it back until it reaches the middle line of the eyeball. I think that's a good position to put it. And then also I really don't want it to be that big, so let's scale it down until I see my eyelashes or my eyelid are not being pushed anymore. Okay, just scale it down. Okay. Now this ball is now being able to collide with the curve, and then because it collides with the curve changes shape, and that changes the shape of the eyelid too. So that's the basic idea here. Now I have to make them follow the joint. So let me group them, and then call this group sculptor left eye group, and that will actually go directly to the left eye joint. If I drag my eye ball, you see now it's colliding a little bit, but not that much. To make it stronger, I can go grab the sculptor again here and then change the maximum displacement to 1. That way it can actually collide with the eyelid. Okay, so one thing I don't really like is what's happening here, although it could be true, but not really what I want. So I'm gonna eliminate the effect here. The easiest way is paint the weight. Let's go select the geometry and go to deform, paint weights, and then find the wire and go to the settings. You see now the wire deformer have full control of the entire body. I just needed to be controlling the middle part of the eyelid. So let's eliminate all the weights by changing the value to 0 and flat it. And now change it back and then paint some weight back on the eyelid like that, but not on the corner. Okay, making sure you also have the back side of the eyeball taken care of. The eyelid, the back side of the eyelid taken care of. Be careful, don't paint something on the back. So let me just erase those by holding down Control. Okay. Also not that much down there too. And eventually I can go to the smooth and flat it twice to make it smoother. Now if I drag it, you see now it's colliding with the side but not what's happening there. Okay, maybe just a very little bit, but you know, not that much. Now we have the eye collide, we also have the eyelid follow. If we turn them on, see now I have both collide and the follow happening. Let's go there and group. Actually drag the left eye wire and drag the base one there. Drag those two to the facial wire deformers. Okay. Now one last thing is I also want to control how much collision there is. So let's go there and create a new attribute for the controller here. This new one will be called Eyelid collide. Okay, minimum will be 0, maximum will be 1. And then they will be used to connect that attribute I just added. Eyelid collide will be used to connect with the wire deformer here. Okay, and let's open it and connect the eyelid collide to the envelope of the wire deformer. If you cannot find it, it's very easy to grab. Just select our skin, and then the first one on top of the inputs will be the wire deformer. Click on it and then add it into the graph. Okay, that's the wire deformer. Again, you just need to use the controller here and use the new attribute we added to control the envelope. Now if the envelope is 0, that means the wire deformer is not doing anything, so we don't have the collide at all. We can turn it on by drag the eye collide all the way up to 1, so we have a little bit of collision happening there too. We can also make them somehow lower than the 1. Can make that one higher. See if that's gonna be, you know, better. But now it's your choice to have like how strong they are. Both collision and follow will be controlled by those two controllers. Okay, that wraps up everything we did in class. So I hope you can finish everything without any problem. But you know, those things are actually not that much new things. Maybe just that sculpt deformer thing, but other than that, it's all blend shape and wear deformer, which we already went over. Anyways, so I will see you guys next class.